one of the things that we set up in this season very early on is Jonathan's deal with Jor-el to get Clark back. And the ramifications of that were his health issues. Because again, in our heads at this point, we thought this show will go 5 seasons. That's what we thought. So we were kind of loading the bases, knowing that on the 100th episode, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but I'm assuming if you're listening to this rewatch podcast you have, is, Jonathan Kent was going to die in the 100th episode. That was always kind of in the cards for us. So it was also kind of laying some of the groundwork for the bigger moves to come, because we literally thought Endgame was going to be season 5.
Does Schneider not ask, like, when he's making the deal and Schneider doesn't know what the deal is, or does he at that point?
It doesn't work like that, Bryce. Sorry, Al, but everybody signs a 7-year contract, and at a certain point, if the show's successful, you can go in and ask
6 year
for a renegotiation. I think mine was 7.
Mine was 6, and I signed on for one more.
What happens is...
Yeah, John doesn't know.
Tom, you're
he
right.
Wasn't happy about dying.
You sign on for... You sign a 6-year contract. Usually in season 3 is when... at least in old-time television, that's when the actors on the successful show would go back and renegotiate for more money, as they should, knowing the value of a hit show. But the quid pro quo with that was that you would then give
another year.
Give another year. So you'd have 7 seasons.
Right.
And that was kind of, and then as a show gets, longer running, and Tom, we left after season 7, but then Tom, you extended further, and and that's just, again, how it used to work. But in our heads, we were always told if you get to season 3, you'll get to season 5.
Right.
And so we thought, okay, let's, we were like, that's the 5-year kind of plan, at least in our head. So we should start to look at that. And I think, when we got to season 5. And I'm digressing here, so you can cut any of this you want. Season 4, I remember Entertainment Weekly did this thing where they said, "Oh, is Smallville on the bubble?" which was completely untrue. And I had it out with one of the editors there, who's now a good friend of mine. And so season 5, we're throwing everything in it because this could be the last season. And if you guys recall, season 5 was the season we were up against Alias, the OC,
24.
24. We were up against everything, and we moved to Thursday nights. And because at the time, this is the other thing too, in television, Thursday was a very important advertising night for the networks because the movie studios always advertised all of their weekend movies in the Thursday night shows. And because they didn't know how much time they were going to buy, you were always buying that at a premium. So I remember David Janilari, who was running the network at the time, said, "I want to move you to Thursday. We need you to be our beachhead." And my response to him was, "Well, I hope that beach is in Normandy." So
wow.
And then we ended up, it was a big resurgence, I think, both creatively and ratings wise for the show, which then I think propelled it into its next
couple
5
seasons.
years.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been enormous. This is why I love calling Al and bothering him. But it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
It is fun. You're so knowledgeable, and it's good to just shoot the shit with you. All right, we're going to move on. We love you, and we'll just call you, and when you answer, Right, Al?
Excellent.